We're approaching West Palm Beach. I got my friend with me, Sam. So he flew down for a couple days. He's gonna join me for the Bahamas crossing. And I'm in the front cabin here of the sailboat. It's a bit noisy in the back because we're running the engine. So he's gonna join me and we're gonna go to West Palm Beach. We're gonna do a mooring for the night, get everything planned and ready to go for the crossing over to the Bahamas. It's much closer here at West Palm Beach. It's really only a day trip, or it's like 10 hours to cross over to the west end, which we're planning to do either tomorrow or the next day, kind of depending on the provisions.
We continue down the ICW through Jupiter, Florida, then North Palm Beach. Then we hit Lake Worth. We stop for the night in a mooring field just south of Peanut Island.
We're gonna dinghy into the West Palm Beach Sailing Club.
And we're having fun. At least the winds have dropped down. They were gusting up to 25 knots earlier and about 2-foot waves. It's calmed down a little bit now. It should be a fairly decent night. We're out on a mooring back behind us.
All right, so we just tied up the dinghy. We got here a little squirrel action. And then we're gonna head off to the VFW. That's where I have sent some packages. I couldn't think of anywhere else to send parts, so I called the VFW and they let me ship some stuff there.
Now, I've shown a clip in previous episodes where I hit this big wave just outside of St. Augustine. Well, it tore off my front navigation light right here.
Oh, gee!
Obviously, we need navigation lights to continue the journey, but on a boat, you'll find it's tough to ship parts without an address along the route. So, after using the facilities here at this sailing club, we will head to a local VFW post that was nice enough to let me ship items there.
We're not catching an Uber to the VFW.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. The adventure continues.
Cheers to the VFW.
There's the VFW we got our parts from. Yeah. Yay. Polaroid. Oh my God.
Nice.
Thank you. Oh my God, we can hang that on the boat. I don't see that too.
That's very cool.
I haven't seen a Polaroid in my God, how long?
All right, thanks guys.
On the board.
Thank you, Jill. Have a good one. Thank you so much. So we're heading to Walmart now. We said that we hit the VFW. We got our goodies. We got our navigation light. We got our chart books.
¿En the phone?
Sí, claro que sí.
Okay,
Gracias.
Do you speak Spanish?
Un poco.
Okay, qué bueno.
¿De dónde eres?
De Cuba.
Cuba, okay.
Cubano.
Muy bien. All right, now we're at Walmart for some more provisionings.
Got the list. Got the list. Checking it twice.
We got a few extra items from Walmart, then headed back to the boat. We also needed fuel, so we took the dinghy into probably the most upscale marina on the East Coast, Rybovich Marina, right here a few hundred yards from our mooring. And when I say upscale, here are some of the boats at the marina. This yacht here is named Venus. You may have heard of it because it was commissioned by the late Steve Jobs, yes, the founder of Apple. It's 256 feet long and she cost $140 million. But guess what? Even though it was Jobs' passion project, it was not completed until the year after Steve Jobs died. This brings me back to a quote from one of my previous videos that I think is worth showing here again.
I'll read you a quote out of this book. It's from Marcus Aurelius. "It's not death that man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Now, why do I read you this quote whenever I'm trying to show you a boat? I want to tell you a quick story. A friend of mine who is a boat broker, he had a client who waited till he was retired to purchase a boat. A year later, this man's children come into the shop. "I need to talk to the boat broker. We actually need to sell the boat." The broker, like, "Why? You guys just bought it a year ago." "Well, their dad had passed away. This gentleman who had bought the boat had passed away within that year and never really got to enjoy the boat." What's the point of that is that you cannot wait if you keep thinking, "I'm going to wait till I retire, I got to wait till I'm done with this next job." If you want something, do it.
Now, obviously not all of us can go out and buy a $140 million boat, but the point is, don't wait to do things you want to do. Follow your passion. Follow your dreams.
That thing is crazy. Look at that. The bow of that thing.
On a completely unrelated note, I have to fill out some paperwork for the Navy and send it back immediately via email before we lose internet service.
Since I left the Navy, I have to actually commit to the reserves after leaving active duty. So Sam is getting ready to, he has a retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel. He's getting ready to swear me in, or I guess I have to not swear me in, but I have to say the oath.
It's like a re-enlistment, but you're re-enlisting into the reserves.
Yeah. So we're getting ready to do it here in West Palm Beach in front of the flag.
So raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Joshua.
I, Joshua, having been appointed Lieutenant in the United States Navy, that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God. All right. Thank you. Okay, today is finally the day. We are headed to West End, Bahamas. I'll show you what we got for a little navigation system here. It's about 4:30 in the morning, and we have calculated this on the Navionics chart. So Sam and I are grabbing coffee right before we get going, and we're about ready to set sail here. We've done our course charting I just showed you on the Navionics, but here is the big chart.
We're actually here in the harbor. We're going to come around this departure point, and then according to our weatherman, he gave us an exit point here so that we would cross the Gulf Stream, which is heading this way, and this will be the safest exit point and most expeditious exit point, and then we're heading down to West End, the Bahamas, and that's where we'll check in with the customs people over in the Bahamas.
Now, for any navigation geeks out there like us, here are some extra details. With the Gulf Stream at its strongest point here, if you were to head straight across, the strong current will still push you a bit north. So it's best not to fight the current so much, but instead use the current a bit and then go through the worst part of the Gulf Stream, and then around here you'll turn down slightly toward the West End, Bahamas.
And we're off. We got about, we're doing about 6 knots speed. We've got 13 knots of wind. And right now we're probably about 15-20 miles off the coast of Florida. Really a perfect day for sailing. Mild waves. We've got the south winds coming. We're in the Gulf Stream now. So it's really pleasant. Actually, it's about getting close to that drop-off in the depth. We're almost at 1,000 feet. We're at the area where the chart says about 850 feet of depth. So it should be about 9 or 10 hours to get to West End, Bahamas. Alright, we're almost out of the Gulf Stream. We are about 5 nautical miles, well, that'd be west of the Gulf Stream exit, and that's about 15 to 20 miles from the Bahamas. Let me show you the angle of heel that we're doing with the boat. So I'll kind of show you the water line and you can see what the boat's angle is. We've almost made it. We're about 5 miles out from West End, Bahamas. What we did is we pushed off the mooring ball at 5 a.m. It is now 2:15 p.m. and we're still about 5 miles out. We can do the obligatory land hoe. We've crossed the Gulf Stream and the weather is quite nice. All right, we got to go check in right now with the customs. We put the quarantine flag up. We're all good. Sam, we made it. Well, sundowner's time.
Sundowner's time, exactly.
All right, cool. All right, we're in. All right. Our first day here in Bahamas. Found a little cove for some swimming. Fantastic.